Alright everybody, welcome back to another top buy, top sell video here in the A1 Edge Finder, where of course we're going to do a full breakdown of our number one listed buy and our number one listed sell here today in the Edge Finder to close out the week. But before we get to that, I want to take a look at the Smart Money Tracker as well as retail sentiment so that we can get an idea of what everyone around the market is currently buying and selling. So here in the Smart Money Tracker, we're taking a look at COT report data. That's what institutional traders, or sometimes referred to as smart money traders, what they are currently putting in long and short positions on. So over here on the right, we can see our most bullish asset currently is gold, and followed by platinum. So gold at 79.3% long and platinum at 76.8% long. So smart money traders currently heavily favored long on the metals industry, at least gold and platinum. And then right behind that, we have the euro. The euro is our first currency here over here on the long side, currently at 75.25% long. So institutional traders very heavily favored long on the euro, but they're also pretty heavily favored long on the US dollar as well, 66.3% there. Our most heavily shorted asset from institutional traders at the moment is the Japanese yen, sitting at 80.27% short. We can of course see all of that same information right down here. This is a full list of all the different assets that we can see up here, except we're looking at it on a numerical value chart, and we can actually see the total number of long contracts as well as the total number of short contracts, the changes long and short, and of course the percentage either long or short for each individual asset, broken down for you with the most bullish up here at the top and the most bearish down here at the bottom.
What's up?
Dude, what happened to you?
Haven't you heard? It's the summer half off discount sale.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Right now only, get half off any of our VIP Discord memberships. These memberships include access to our signals, where you can get entries and exits from Frank and I, and full breakdown and analysis with each trade. You can learn our strategies in detail. You can learn how to get funded with our training material to help traders looking for funding. And you can also join the chat room community. We have several membership opportunities, so click the link and check them out for yourself. And remember, you get half off if you either message us or use the discount code you see on the screen now.
But let's go ahead and move on to retail sentiment, where we can see what day traders are currently buying and selling. So we're going to start off here first with our major US dollar pairs. USD CAD is currently the most favored on the long side from day traders at 94%, and the most favored short US dollar pair is pound USD. We can move over here and check out our minor currency pairs as well. And our favored long minor currency pair at the moment is the euro pound pair at 93% long. And our most favored short minor currency pair is CHF JPY. 97% of day traders currently shorting CHF JPY. Let's go ahead and head on over into our watch list signals tab, where we can see our total list of buys and sells currently listed in the Edge Finder. But I'm going to remove anything that isn't a currency pair. So I'm going to remove the cryptos and the commodities and the indices as well. And there we go. Now we're just left with our currency pairs, and we have two strong buys, CHF JPY and USD JPY at scores of 6 and 7, and one strong sell, Euro CAD, with a score of -6. So I guess they've made it pretty easy for us today. We're going to check out CHF JPY on the buy side with that score of 7, and Euro CAD on the sell side with a score of -6. And you know what? Why don't we start off with Euro CAD? So I'm going to go to minor currency pairs, find Euro CAD right there. And yeah, like I mentioned, a strong sell bias score of -6. COT data is a score of +2, and retail sentiment a score of -1. Taking a look at this right over here, we can see COT data, or institutional trader data. As we know, the euro is currently the most heavily long positioned asset from smart money traders, 75.25% long there. But the Canadian dollar is being pretty heavily shorted by smart money traders, 73% short. Retail sentiment, on the other hand, 79% long, 21% short on Euro CAD from the day traders. Seasonality is a score of -1. We can see here that in the month of June, historically speaking, if you isolate just the month of June over the last 10 years and looked at how Euro CAD trended throughout those 10 years, in the month of June, you would notice that it performs a little bit bearishly, which is what we've seen so far this month from Euro CAD. Trend reading is a score of -2, but over the past couple of days, it has actually had a bit of a shift in momentum and has started making moves to the upside. But if we go into our price forecast tab right here, we'll be able to get a longer or more complete view of the chart. We'll just have more room to take a look at where price closed each of those days. So Euro CAD right here, and we can see, yeah, look at that. May 31st through June 8th, so a little over a week, we just saw this thing absolutely plummet, and it kind of consolidated here for a couple days and has moved back up since this kind of period of consolidation right here. But we're getting that strong downwards move right here, which is what's giving us that -2 score, although that may change here in the next couple of days if price continues to make moves to the upside or even starts consolidating again. But let's go and head back into the Euro CAD breakdown page and move on to our fundamentals. GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates, all scores of -1, and we can take a look at those numbers right over here. So GDP growth in the Euro area, negative 0.1% compared to 0.8% in Canada. Inflation, 6.1% compared to 4.4%. Unemployment, 6.5% compared to 5.2%. And lastly, interest rates, 4% on the euro compared to 4.75% on the Canadian dollar. So fundamentally speaking, the Canadian dollar is beating out the euro area in all four of those fundamental metrics that we track right there. So there we go, a breakdown of Euro CAD for you. And the other pair that we were going to take a look at was CHF JPY on the buy side. We had that strong buy bias with a score of +7, COT data a score of +1, and retail sentiment also a score of +1. Taking a look at those numbers right over here. If you remember, the Japanese yen was actually the most favored asset on the short side when it came to COT data. Those institutional traders heavily favored long on the Japanese yen at the moment, or excuse me, heavily favored short on the Japanese yen at the moment, 80.27% short there. Whereas when it comes to the Swiss franc, they're not really heavily favored one way or the other. We see 52.6% short and 47.3% long. So yes, technically a very slight favoritism on the short side when it comes to the Swiss franc, but not enough for us to really score it, which is why it's got a +1 score here and not a stronger +2 or -2 score. Retail sentiment, on the other hand, this was our most heavily favorited short asset when it came to the retail sentiment tab, 97% short and just 3% long here from retail traders. Seasonality is a score of +1. We can see here in the month of June, again, historically speaking, over the last 10 years, in the month of June, CHF JPY tends to perform bullishly, which it has so far this month as well. Trend rating score of +2, and we can see a nice upward move here from July 13th to today. It has continued to make higher highs each day, but I bet you if we go into the price forecast tab again, we will be able to see a more complete view of CHF JPY and see just how strong that trend really is. So CHF JPY, and yeah, not a really crazy trend to the upside except for what's happened as of late. Since June 13th, we definitely had a really nice pop here, but just some gradual growth to the upside. Definitely hasn't been trending downwards at all, again resulting in that +2 trend reading score there. CHF JPY, there we are. And lastly, we can finish up with our fundamentals here. GDP growth, a score of -1, but inflation, unemployment, and interest rates, all scores of +1 here. go ahead and go over those numbers. GDP growth in Japan, 0.7% compared to 0.3% in Switzerland. Inflation, 3.5% compared to 2.2%. Unemployment, 2.6% compared to 1.9%. And lastly, interest rates on the Japanese yen, currently negative 0.1% compared to 1.5% on the Swiss franc. So there we go. Quick breakdown of our top buy and top sell here listed in the EDGEFINDER today: CHF, JPY, and Euro CAD. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and remember, if you want the EDGEFINDER for a discounted price, you can use the link down in the description below with promo code A1YT at checkout. Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EDGEFINDER, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.